Now, this vulnerability is called insecure direct object references, or IDOR. So as always with the AppSecEngineer lab system, what you need to do is spin up the lab, and then of course you can walk through the entire thing. So this is a attack against object level authorization, and the scenario that we have is we have some kind of a financial trading application. The user is logged into their account on one, and by changing the ID in a particular URL, they are able to access somebody else's account. So let's access the terminal. I'm just going to copy paste the instructions, build a Docker container for the application to run. In the meantime, let's actually look at the vulnerability here. Now, the vulnerability really comes from one single route that we have implemented here. So in the user service, you'll see that there is a get profile function, and this user repo where you pass an ID, and then if you get a response, that user's profile is pulled up by the application. On the surface, this doesn't look wrong, but really this is a problem because we are not checking if the ID passed by the user is in fact the user's ID itself. And that's really where the access control issue comes from. And we are running the application. First, we're going to register a user. We're going to create the account. I'm also going to create another user. We have two users that we have created. Now let's actually go into the login page. And once we log in, if I go into the profile route, I get my profile. But if I change the ID in the profile route, I get access to somebody else's profile. And this could be obviously much more sensitive than this is right now, right? There is no real authorization check enforced on this. Even if the developer had done a simple authorization check enforced at this level, this wouldn't have happened. So if you look at the defensive example here, you will see that we have fixed it in the form of a very simple fix. So what we've done here is we've added one layer of authorization, and we've said, okay, get the current user with the session. So you get the principal from the auth service that you have. The auth service basically deals with the session token, and it maps the user based on the session token and so on. So this validates the identity of the user through the auth principal. And once that is done, you take this current user from this ID on your side, which is a server-side context of that user, and then you check whether the ID sent by the user matches that ID. And only if that matches, only then return some value, otherwise don't return anything. A simple thing like this will ensure that you don't have authorization issues. You also have additional Spring security parameters that you can use to do role-based access control related parameters. So these are the kind of things your developers should be learning when they're implementing apps in Java Spring Boot, understanding how these kind of patterns work. And all of this, of course, is covered in our course on Java Spring Boot.